All right, so I guess we're a little early. It's supposed to start at 11, so I'm going to just kind of wait for a few minutes. I actually wasn't fully ready. I completely scheduled this, and it decided that it was going to go live 3 minutes early. So I'm just going to grab my hat really quick. Um, yeah, so I am a little whacked out dress kind of right now because, like I said, wasn't fully ready. So I'm wearing like khaki pants and my Beartooth shirt and my Beartooth hat. Just basically because that's what's going on. I think we got a person on here already. So yeah, I do want to start this before we get to the actual discussion of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 1, which was called New World Order. I do want to preference this by saying that if you are watching this live or watching this watching one of my videos for the first time, please subscribe. Please like and comment. We're going to do more live videos at least once a week, obviously, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming out. And obviously, I do my live Lego builds. Usually, I've been doing that on Instagram, which right here. And I'm actually going to set that up in a minute as well. We'll be doing live on both Instagram and on YouTube. So I do apologize that this whole opening is a little off. Like I said, I thought I had a little more time to set this up, but YouTube just decided that even if I say schedule it to go right away. So we still got 2 minutes until the official start of this. As I've told the Instagram crew, but that's what we're doing. So yeah, like I said, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I gotta reorganize. So I am going to go dark for a second just because I have a ring light that will be going on. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to turn off this light back here. And here. So don't worry, since this is my first live stream, the next one will be a little more set up better. It's first time technically using this camera, so we will be adjusting that and everything like that. So we're going to get Instagram Live ready, and because I did promise them, since this is a transition, that we will be using both on here. So while this connects, we'll start. Okay. So if I do look over here, that is because I'm talking to YouTube. If I look over here, I'm talking to Instagram. For my Instagrammers there, we are actually going live on YouTube right now as well. We're going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So the premiere happened today. We're probably going to go on for about 20 minutes. Just discussing everything. If people get on the chat and start talking and doing stuff, I'll respond and we'll talk about that. So, yeah, we're talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier today, episode 1, which is New World Order. Episode was about 50 minutes long, but technically more about 40 with the ending credits. There's no post-credit scene that I saw. I really hope there is no post-credit scene, because I did walk away as the credits were rolling, and I did go over the timeline to make sure that nothing was on there. So I also want to preface this by saying that these live streams will probably be later starting next week. It's just this week I was off on Friday for my money-making job, and I figured I'm not going to wait around all day to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier to stream this super early. Just stream this super late, so I might as well do it now. So we start off the show with Sam getting suited up, and honestly, my first thought seeing that was, oh my God, we're going to see Steve's funeral. I didn't expect it to go where he was turning over the shield, but still, I saw that and I go, holy crap, we're going to see Steve's funeral just for them to hammer it in that Steve's gone. which I'm happy that they didn't. I mean, obviously they're implying that Steve's gone, but we don't fully know that because he's there's no body. And as a bunch of YouTubers say, and as I say, if there is no body, where's the evidence that they're actually gone yet? So yeah, hi John. We're talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're doing spoiler talk, so if you haven't watched it yet, I'm advised not to turn it on. We are also streaming this live on YouTube. But yeah, so after the first scene, we kind of go into a whole action sequence, which had the Leaper in it of all Bartok, the Leaper. I was blown away by seeing that. I actually had to Google it while I was watching. I was like, wait, that guy looks familiar. Is that the Leaper? And I had to pull it up and everything. I was like, oh my God, they actually brought him back. And then I thought they brought him back just to kill him. Because at the end of that scene with the helicopter getting ready to blow up, that was some of the best Marvel action that I've seen in a very, very long time. And I just love it that like we literally got to just see some action there. It's honestly been a long time since we've been able to see action on that scale. And for me, it's been a very long time to actually get that Marvel feel. Me and Angie are going to be watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe starting April 1st. So I actually kind of just, I don't know how to say it, kind of just cut myself off from Marvel for almost a whole year. Mainly, it was originally because I was going to wait till they finally announced Black Widow coming out when it was going to actually come out. And then I just decided after we were watching the Transformers stuff, I was like, what are we going to do next? And we threw around Fast and Furious and everything because I've never seen the Fast and Furious movies. But she wanted to do the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I was just like, I'm not going to watch MCU until we start. And Iron Man and the Hulk is how far we've gotten so far, and those don't feel like Marvel movies. And WandaVision, although I loved WandaVision, it didn't have that Marvel feel. Obviously, the first two movies, it's because it's like it was in its baby stages. It's because it's like experimental and out there, or for WandaVision. But this felt like watching a Captain America movie, and that was like the best part was just watching that whole action scene, and just it felt Marvel. It was great. That really won me over because I wasn't sure how they were going to treat this show. I really wasn't. I was thinking that it might just, be a whole I don't know what to say. Like kind of like okay, Captain America's gone. Now we got to figure out who's going to take his place. There's me and Falcon and Winter Soldier and what's his face, U.S. agent, who's going to be the next Captain America. And actually, it's dealing with a lot more than that. So after we get that action scene, we get Sam handing over the shield to the museum, which honestly was a little bit of a shock to me, because especially if they're implying that Cap died, he's kind of going against Cap's wishes. I know that like he doesn't feel that the shield belongs to him, but I mean, it's still. I mean, if I bring my hand up for here, I'm blocking my face on Instagram. But like that feel of just not knowing where, or like that feel of not knowing if Cap's still alive, and basically Sam giving up the shield. It felt kind of like a little shock to me because I was like, especially with the trailers, it feels like he was going to keep the shield the whole time and train with it and basically become the next Captain America. And I mean, I understand that he doesn't feel safe doing that. Like he doesn't feel like he deserves to be Captain America. But like at the same time, it always felt like Sam was the person that would respect his friend's feelings, or respect his friend's wishes. And just him kind of turning that down, was a shock to me. And he gives the shield away to the museum. Then the other big shock was that Don Cheadle was in it. We had Rhodey in it for like 3 minutes. I did not expect that. That kind of blew me away. That was so cool just to see Rhodey, even if it was to kind of like explain why did you give the shield away and stuff like that. And like I kind of want to see like more of Rhodey in that, kind of the whole I was the quote unquote sidekick to this massive superhero that meant like was a symbol to so many people. And now I kind of have to take that place, whether I like it or not. How do I feel? I feel that's going to be the whole like theme of the show. And like, I'd like to see Rhodey more on like his idea of that, because I mean, yes, we have Pepper in the rescue suit. And Spider-Man's trying to take over, kind of being the new Iron Man, even though he doesn't want to. He wants to be his own person. Every time I talk about a different Marvel movie, I look over at my Marvel shelf. But like stuff like that, I feel like Rhodey would be more of the next Iron Man than Spider-Man. Like kind of like Sam being the next Captain America, or Bucky over the ending of the show, which we're going to talk about the ending when we get to the ending. But yeah, so we get through that and everything. And then I think the next scene was setting up no, it wasn't. Next scene was Bucky in therapy, I believe. That was actually kind of funny to see, and that answered a question I've had since Endgame, since they announced the show, really, was about Bucky coming back. And actually, our intro to Bucky isn't the therapy scene; it's a flashback. And I kid you not, this flashback I thought was happening in real time, as in real time in the movie or the show. And I was like really kind of shocked that like for literally until he says Hail Hydra, I thought it was like he started dressing as the Winter Soldier again. Actually, it was before the Hail Hydra. I'll mention that when I figured it out. But it was like I thought he's dressing up as the Winter Soldier again to take out Hydra agents or whatever is going to be the new big bad organization. Obviously not Sword. I think this takes place before Falcon before WandaVision. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like tying into Sword or anything. Or Sword's going to still be looked at as the good guys. But like, I don't know who I would think he was like discussing with, but like, fighting with, if it was modern day. But yeah, whatever he was doing, he was taking out people for Hydra. And the moment I noticed was when he extended his arm and it was still the silver with the red star. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this has to be a flashback. Otherwise, why would he be wearing that arm? And then he does the Hail Hydra, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's a flashback. And another part of that, like at the beginning of the scene that I thought was weird, that ended up playing off perfectly, was the fact that basically that there's like a kid at the beginning of it. I was like, okay, what's with this kid? And then it turns out that Bucky is trying to make amends for everything he's done over the 90 years in ice. And he's staying with the old man of the kid that he killed. That was like, I got confused on that for a second, and I was like, oh, is that what's his face from the first Avenger? Because I know it's like 100 years or 80 years later. Really, if you think with the blip, it could have been 75. So, but I was like, oh, he could be 95, and they're just playing off with like movie magic that he's 95. And then I was like, oh no! Right when he goes, the Red Moochie was my son's favorite. I was like, no, that's the father for the guy that Bucky killed. But yeah, so Bucky wakes up from that nightmare, and then he's in therapy. And that answered a question that I've had for a long time about Bucky's done all these terrible things. The whole point of Civil War was trying to arrest Bucky, for some people. And how is he going to be like working with Sam in this show? and he got pardoned, which makes so much sense. I mean, he's done so much for the country since Civil War, with Infinity War and Endgame. That makes sense that he got pardoned. So glad to see that that happened. And he's going through like therapy and everything about his trauma and the nightmares he's having. And then he's going through his Winter Soldier book. And actually, we do see a name of somebody that's appearing later on in this show in that book, which is Zemo. I caught that and I was like, okay, maybe this is how Zemo's going to get out of jail. Because maybe Bucky still does have that programming in him that he doesn't, like, it's so deep down that they thought they got rid of it or something, and Zemo's going to make him break him out. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. But yeah, like he's going through the list, and actually that was one of the scenes that made me laugh the most. Was he went against some Hydra senator that's been abusing the power since the beginning, or since Hydra had fallen. And when he's controlling the car, and then he's going through like his steps, and he walks up, he's like, "I'm no longer the Winter Soldier. My name is James Buchanan Barnes, and I am trying to make amends for my issues. You're on that list." That cracked me up where he had to do like the forced smile. That's like Sebastian Stan, great acting. Same with Anthony Mackie, which brings us to the next part, which is we finally get to see kind of Sam's family, his home life and everything. And like his sister, they're struggling, which is a great setup because, I mean, in all honesty, you see in the movies, you have like Tony Stark, who's a billionaire, Captain America, who's basically bankrolled by the government for life. You see the Incredible Hulk, who, yes, he's poor, but once he's with the Avengers, he's basically bankrolled by Tony. Or Tony, like, basically gives him whatever he wants. And then you got Thor, who's a literal god that doesn't really need money. And then you got Ant-Man, who's bankrolled by Hank Pym. And, like, everybody's, like, well off and rich, besides, like, Peter Parker, who they, even then, in Homecoming and Far From Home, we don't really see Peter Parker struggling with rent and stuff like that, like you see in the original Spider-Man movie. Here you see that Sam's sister, I almost called him Wilson, just because Wilson Fisk, not Sam Wilson. But Sam's sister is struggling with her company, or with their family company, and Sam doesn't want to let go, and he's trying to push to keep the boat and everything like that. And you just see like the daily struggle of somebody that you don't think has to struggle. And actually, they even bring that up when they go to the bank, which is later on in the episode, but I'm going to cover it now. They go to the bank, and the first thing that happens is the bank teller's like, "I know you from somewhere. Aren't you the Falcon?" You're like, they figure out that he's the Falcon. And then it turns from them talking about the boat, which I'm moving my hands the whole time and nobody notices. But it turns to them talking about the boat, to them, or talking about getting money for the boat, to, "Oh, wait, you're an Avenger. Are you on Stark's payroll? Are you, what's going," like, turning into about him, which, like, I feel that that probably happens with famous people, is that they get, like, they're trying to do something serious, and then somebody recognizes them, and then it turns into, like, all about them instead of what they're trying to fight for. Which, like, I do like that aspect of, it's really showing kind of like, this show's actually showing like the problems of superheroes that we don't think about, which is really cool. And it's some, I love getting into the minds of superheroes, or getting into the minds of fictional characters, and seeing what's like going on with that, and everything like that. And the show's really showing like kind of the B-side of like what it's like to be a superhero, especially a superhero after some major event. Like, we kind of got that in Iron Man 3 with Tony's PTSD, after the Avengers, and now we're getting Endgame happened, basically the biggest event in the entire history of humanity. just got like thrown at us in this world when you think about it. And interesting. I just realized something that I will talk about later in one of me and Angie's watch videos. Sorry, like I said, I keep looking over here every time I talk about a different Marvel movie. And I just noticed that basically the entire Phase 1 was from Paramount. Never realized that. But anyways, it's like just seeing the fallout of Endgame. I mean, we did get to see that in WandaVision. We got to see that in Far From Home, but like this feels like it hits more close to home, and I think that's because when it really boils down to it, Sam's just a regular guy. He doesn't have Steve's super strength and super speed and everything like that. He's just a guy that has a flight suit. Is all it is. Which like you get to see multiple times in this episode. He's just a guy. Um which I find very cool. And then even with Bucky, who's suffering from massive PTSD and trying to make amends for the stuff that he's done, whether it was mentally done on him or not mentally done on him. Well, you know what I mean. Well, it was he was programmed to do that and he had no control over himself. It's still like he's still suffering from having to deal with that, and he's trying to make as many amends as possible. And the friend that he made, the old man that he killed his son, which I do have a feeling he's going to tell that person either in the next episode or sometime before this ends. And he's like trying to be friends with him, and the guy goes and tries to set him up with the bartender or whatever you want to call it, waitress, which I will talk about the beginning of the date later, but I'll talk about this now because the theme. He goes and she goes and brings up about his son dying, and Bucky literally has to walk out and literally walks right to his house like he's about to tell him and everything. And then he sees the little mural of the son. And he can't do it. He can't tell him I killed your son. Just like the fact that he has to deal with everything that he's done over 90 years. I mean, some of us don't even live to 90, let alone be in our prime for 90 years. And he has to deal with like what he's done in that span of time. Think about it. He's basically lived a whole lifetime of death and violence and everything like that, and he has to deal with that. It's going to take a toll on him, and like I love that this show's showing this. So I'm going to jump back really quick to the date, because the date made me chuckle too. All the Bucky's parts, like they were serious, but they made me chuckle at the same time. Which him going on the date and bringing roses, and she's like, "That's so old fashioned." That made me laugh. And then she's like, "Oh, how old are you?" Blah blah blah. He's like, "Yeah, I've been using the dating apps. A lot of weird pictures." And then, "How old are you?" 106. And she starts laughing like it's a joke. He's like, and like that cracks me up. Just like the fact that like I know it's like making fun of like his mind washing or his brainwashing and his trauma and everything, but like his reactions on that are just hilarious in my opinion. But yeah, so like that's most of the show. We got a few more scenes we're going to talk about. Once I actually get people on, which I think next week will be better because we're going to be doing it later, because probably a lot of you are either in school or working right now. Just two more scenes to really talk about, and then we'd open it up to questions. But yeah, so basically we get two more scenes. One's Sam working on the boat, which he's trying to repair to get it back and still not working. I have a feeling this boat's going to end up playing some major role in the show. besides just being a plot device for Sam needing more money. And then that's really nothing much to talk about besides that. But after that, we get the introduction. Oh, there's there's another major scene that I completely glanced over that we'll talk about now. I was like, I know I'm missing something. I can't think about it. We get the introduction to the Flag Smashers and everything, which they're brought up at the beginning of the show with Sam's boots on the ground friend from the opening scene about the Flag Smashers. Or that he's talking about the Flag Smashers and that there could be a serious threat. And he ends up going to like one of their rallies. And he records what's going on. And they're in Switzerland. So I wonder if they're breaking into the Swiss bank. So their motives are apparently to be a world without borders and everything like that. So the Swiss banks are basically the richest banks in the world. They have insane interest. That's why you always hear people saying that they're going to transfer their money to Swiss banks and everything like that. So like, I wonder if their motive behind robbing the bank was supposed to be like some sort of political point that Switzerland shouldn't have all that money. But I also wonder if there is an ulterior motive on that of just stealing the money to have the money. But we see kind of like how they work and how they hide in disguises and everything like that. And what I like is they are an international threat being in Switzerland. They are not a specific United States threat. So we kind of see one of the characters is powered. He goes up against Sam's friend and beats the crap out of him. Excuse me. But yeah, so we see that happen and everything. And turns out they're a lot bigger of a threat than everybody believed them to be. So then Sam gets in contact, and I think Sam's thinking it's Bucky because he saw the video and like he had a reaction. It was like, oh, I'll get back to you on this and everything. So I'm thinking he thinks it's Bucky. So I think the next episode will be Sam confronting Bucky, thinking that he's Flag Smasher. And then we get the final scene of the episode that I can now finally bring up because I almost completely skipped over another important plot point. So the last part that we're going to talk about is the last scene. And it's the introduction of the new Captain America, or U.S. agent, as we all will know him by, which actually in his suit, you can see an A in the star, which kind of ties it to U.S. agent, where it's the U.S. is the star, A is the agent. But yeah, that's basically like all we really see of him in his face. And they're bringing up that they need somebody to rally behind and everything like that, which what kind of makes me laugh, which again, I know this is, I think even before WandaVision, we do still have superheroes that we could rally behind. We have War Machine still. We have Hawkeye. Oh, Hawkeye, I can understand that. But like, if I'm looking right here, we don't want one. We have, I guess there is really no like symbol of America to stand besides the three in this show. And I'm sorry I keep saying I keep realizing that I do that, and it really irritates me. But there's not that many people that we can cover besides Spider-Man, which Spider-Man's really just secluded to New York, especially at this time before Far From Home. So, and he's not a publicly known figure like Steve Rogers was, or like Sam Wilson is, or they definitely wouldn't want Bucky being with all the crimes he did, this new agent. All of them are publicly known figures. All of them follow the Sokovia Accords. So I can understand why they wouldn't want to choose a already established hero, besides maybe Rhodey, who did do Iron Patriot, and they could just make him the Iron Patriot again. I don't get that. But obviously Sam's pissed. And because he gave that shield saying that nobody should be using it, and then we have some nobody already using it. So that's the basically live video review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier Season 1, Episode 1, New World Order. We'll be doing this once a week. We might be doing more than one live stream a week. Next week, though, we are doing a live stream on Thursday for a live Lego build. I hope you guys can enjoy that. Like I said, if I have people on here, we'd be doing questions, but nobody's shooting any questions in the comments on Instagram or Facebook, or Instagram or YouTube. So if you guys want to be included and you're watching this later on YouTube only, because this will be only saved to YouTube, make sure you guys join in on the conversation, and leave questions. I'll interact with you. Even if you're watching later and you want to leave a comment, I will interact. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We are trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of April. So make sure you guys are doing that. And for you guys on Instagram, I guess I will save this one to Instagram. We will be trying to push for that. So make sure you follow me on YouTube. And YouTubers that are watching, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's the same name all around. Every video has a link to my Instagram in the description. And for Instagram, YouTube is in the link in my bio. So yeah, make sure you guys do that. And make sure you leave a like. And make sure you guys go and watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's That Nerd Ryan. And I am signing off at Instagram right now. And I'm reminding you guys that we're all superheroes on the inside.